Alina's life was not easy. At 23, she carried the weight of bills, a sick mother at home, and endless shifts at a small neighborhood bakery. Every day, she woke up before dawn, kneaded dough until her hands ached, and went home with just enough money to keep food on the table. Her coworkers at the bakery often mocked her patched clothes and simple ways. They wore glossy lipstick and posted selfies from parties Alina was never invited to. Still, she tried to stay kind, never answering back, even when the gossip was about her. One afternoon, as the girls lounged near the ovens, one of them smirked. "Alina, you deserve a break. Why don't you go on a blind date? I know someone perfect." Alina's heart fluttered. She had never been asked on a date in her life. "A blind date? For me?" she whispered, cheeks flushing. "Yes," another chimed in, hiding her laughter. "At La Verona, tomorrow evening at 7. Just wear something nice." Alina didn't notice their smirks or the way they exchanged glances. To her, this was a chance to feel normal, to feel wanted. That night, she ironed her only dress, pale blue and a little faded, but clean. She borrowed a pair of heels from her elderly neighbor, applied a bit of borrowed lipstick, and looked in the cracked mirror. For the first time in years, she almost felt beautiful. When she arrived at the glittering restaurant, the scent of roses and polished marble made her feel even more out of place. Guests in designer suits and sparkling gowns glanced at her worn dress, some with pity, others with disdain. Alina clutched her small purse tightly and whispered, "Don't be nervous. Maybe he'll be kind." Then she saw them, her coworkers, hiding behind a corner table, snickering, phones in hand, recording her every move. In that moment, the truth stabbed her. This was all a cruel joke. They had sent her here to humiliate her. Her throat tightened, tears threatening to spill. She turned to leave, but then she froze. At the center of the room, sitting at the reserved table, was a man unlike anyone she'd ever seen. Tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in a suit that looked as if it belonged on a magazine cover. His dark hair was neatly styled, and his gaze was sharp, commanding, yet when it fell on her, it softened. He rose immediately, surprising everyone. With a respectful nod, he pulled out a chair and said warmly, "You must be Alina. I've been waiting for you." Alina sat nervously at the table, her fingers twisting the strap of her purse. She still couldn't shake the thought that this was some kind of mistake. I think I shouldn't be here," she whispered, her voice trembling. "You must have been expecting someone else." But Ethan, for that was his name, leaned forward with steady eyes. "No, I was expecting you." Her heart skipped a beat. "Me? But why?" "Because," he said softly, "sometimes life surprises you in the most unexpected ways. And right now, you are my surprise." He ordered dinner, but Alina barely touched the food, too aware of the stares from every corner of the restaurant. She caught sight of her coworkers at their table, whispering behind menus, phones slyly lifted to record her humiliation. Every giggle, every mocking glance cut deep. Trying to excuse herself, Alina rose to go to the restroom. As she passed by the corner table, she overheard them. "Can you believe this? She actually thinks he's interested," one hissed. Another laughed. "He's just being polite. Wait till he realizes she's a nobody." Their words pierced her like knives. She locked herself in the restroom, gripping the sink as tears spilled down her cheeks. Why did I come? Why did I believe even for a second that someone like him could be serious about someone like me? When she finally returned, head bowed, ready to apologize and flee, she stopped short. Ethan was standing in the middle of the restaurant. The waiters had paused, the guests turned their heads, and the soft clinking of glasses had gone still. All eyes were on him. And then, on her. "Alina," Ethan said, his voice clear and strong, "you may not believe this, but from the moment you walked in tonight, I knew I wasn't the one doing the choosing. My heart chose for me." Her coworkers froze, their phones shaking in their hands. Ethan dropped to one knee, a velvet box in hand. Gasps rippled through the restaurant. The lid opened to reveal a diamond that caught the light like a star. The girls who had mocked her were now wide-eyed, pale, and silent. "Alina," Ethan continued, his gaze unwavering, "you walked in here as the most unexpected person in my life. But you are the one I've been waiting for. Will you marry me?" The room fell into a hushed silence. Alina's hands flew to her mouth, tears streaming down her cheeks. Her entire life, she had been invisible, overlooked, mocked, treated like she was less than nothing. Yet here, before the richest, most powerful man she had ever met, she was seen. Truly seen. I don't understand, she whispered, voice breaking. Ethan smiled gently. You don't have to. Just say yes. The restaurant erupted into applause as Alina nodded through her tears. Ethan slipped the ring onto her finger, and in that instant, she realized. She had walked into the room as the punchline of a cruel joke, but she was walking out as the woman a CEO wanted to cherish for the rest of his life. The room fell silent. Even her coworkers stopped laughing, their jaws dropping. Alina's heart pounded. She could barely breathe. Was this really happening?